And here I am. I got nobody. No, I got 18 views. Okay, it's holding up my views. But I don't see anything coming on yet, so it's kind of way delayed. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Anyway, we're going to go over some things today. I mentioned precious metals. I believe there could be a coming devaluation. We'll go into that a little bit later when we have a few more people on. Also, looks like it's a little too far delayed. Let me see if I can change some of that. Stream latency. Let's see what we got here. It says normal. I don't know. I don't see any chats coming on, though. Interesting. Viewer activity. We have 13 members on, but I don't see anybody chatting or making any comments. So why is that? YouTube keeps changing their settings. Very interesting. Anyway. Very annoying, YouTube. All right, we got one. Donald. Hello, Donald. Who's a member? Thank you, Donald, for being a member. Appreciate that. I want to talk about several things today. Weight loss. I actually have some notes on my phone. We're going to talk about peptides as well, of course, because I'm into peptides these days. But first we need to get a check on sound and video. So I'll wait for a few more people to come on. Even though it shows 16 viewers, I only have one that made a comment. So you guys need to make a few more comments. Don't forget to hit the like. All right. Anyway, good morning. Good morning, everybody. What is this? Engage with your audience. Okay. How do you engage with your... Start queuing questions and answers. Oh, maybe that I have to hit that, huh? Interesting. Yeah, they've changed their whole format on here. It's very confusing. Hey, Goldie. Sound and video is great. Thank you, Paul. Where are you calling from, Paul? And also, Donald, where are you calling from? Curious. Ron. Is that Ron Rook? Yeah, Ron Rooks. Sounds good. Okay, we got 3 people hear me. Excellent. It's a little delayed on my end. I don't know why. You never know what YouTube's going to pull. Queens, New York. Glad you caught me too. I thought the post said Friday evening in the U.S. It's Thursday night here. Oh, you know what? You're right. I put Friday evening. I forgot. You guys are back 14 hours, 12 hours on the East Coast and 14 hours on the West Coast. How quickly do you see expats turnover in Duma? Actually, they come to Duma and some stay, some leave, and then they come back. And they end up, if the older guys like to stay here because it's convenient, because there's a lot of guys here that are older here, and it seems to be a more solid American-Canadian community in Dubuque of over 55, as far as foreigners here. There's a lot of young people here, too, because of the colleges we have here. And the old guys like the young girls, let's be honest, okay? They're easy on the eyes. So, Oregon. All right, Donald, thank you. Oregon. So it's amazing how you can hit the whole world now on these. I'm still from the old age. We used to dial up on a phone. I remember we had to hit an operator, especially if we were calling overseas. I think it was 00 twice on an old rotary phone, which was Bakelite, which is heavy as hell back in the day. And then we'd have to have an operator plug it in, and they say like this, "Hello, sir, where are you trying to call from?" You know, it's like you couldn't hear anything, and then you try to call another country, and you hear a switchboard, another operator, "Let me connect you," and oh my God, it was horrible. Eric, how you doing? Ohio, wonderful. So I kind of miss the old days. It was simpler times. I think that's the same thing my dad said. So that was, what, 100 years ago? Sounds good, video good, Washington State. All right, D. And so we relive our old days and share stories here because, it was different times. I don't think I need these anymore. I can hear everybody. So we miss the old days. So I am in USA for a couple more weeks, says Paul. Live up in Valencia, almost 2 years. Very good. Did the portrait and the helped with classrooms, and are you close yet to still in me? Well, I don't want to. They call it e-begging. I don't want to e-beg, Paul. Okay, if you guys want to help, that's great. I don't want to e-beg, but unfortunately, it does take funds more than I have to create the computer classroom for this Christmas, and we're still a little bit short. I have the teacher's laptop. I have the laser printer. I have all the minor electrical things I need, like charging bus charging, USB bus, multi-bus. I have 3 units of 10 each for charging tablets. I have 10 tablets purchased from Amazon and coming my way. I have the cabinet. I still have to buy another 14 tablets. I'm going for 24. I think that'll be enough for the school. So I need 14 more tablets, and I need the big screen. The big screen TV is 75 to 85 inch. That I can get locally because they won't ship that from the U.S. And it's cheaper just to get it here. Hocus pocus, huh, Ron? So we're getting there. I'm just a little bit short. I'm going to say roughly I need 60, 70,000 pesos for the TV, and they're $100 each for the tablets out of Amazon. Free shipping, no import fees. I can only buy one at a time, but I could buy several per day. I just have to buy one shipped at a time. So, and what did I say I need? I have 10, so I need 14 more. So $1,400 and about $1,550, $1,600 in U.S. dollars were there. I've already spent at least that so far, both with my funds and with other people's donations. So I appreciate everybody that's been helping. But otherwise, we'll make it. I think we'll make it. This month will be the month I need to raise the funds, the rest of the funds, and we'll get there. Now, I've lost, going on to my weight loss, I'm down 40 pounds in 3 months. It's been very good. I'm still on retatrutide and 5-amino, 1-MQ. Those two help lose weight. It's actually a side effect. They're actually also my blood pressure's dropped, probably from the weight loss, but also from the peptide. Hold on just a second, please. Excuse me. So my blood pressure has dropped, and I dropped 2 pills. I was on 4 blood pressure pills. I'm now on 2. I check it almost daily because I don't want it to go too low. The pills will actually make me go below normal. The peptides will bring me down to normal, and you can't take too much peptide. It's a natural thing, like a vitamin. So they'll bring you down to normal. Plus losing weight, I'm sure, helps on blood pressure too. So that'll help my hypertension. And I feel better. Of course, my clothes don't fit, and I'm starting to wear, I got to get new underwear. They're falling off my body. So, Osha said, "What's cracking?" Mike, how you doing, Mike? And I'm doing good. How are you? And PDX, another organ. Nice going on. Yeah, I'm really happy about the weight loss. It's been steady. I found something very interesting about weight loss. So, a couple of people drink alcohol. I'm not a big alcohol drinker. Well, I'm not a smoker at all. Alcohol doesn't really agree with me. I might have an occasional half a beer, light. I'm like not a good drinker. Okay, I'm not a bar person. But a couple people that went on peptides, and by the way, we're up to 22 people now on peptides. I have been able to deliver here in the Philippines, but I don't ship off the. I ship off the island, but I don't ship out of the country. But we have about I think there's about 16, 17 people here in Dumaguete, and 3, 4, 5 that are outside of Dumaguete on the peptides that I ship to. And bottom line is, we had a couple people tell me that, hey, they're losing too much weight, and they only started on 10 units, which is very little. It's like 1 mil of retatrutide, okay, 1 milligram. And I started on 2.5, okay. Most of the really heavy guys started on 2.5, but this guy started on 1, and he lost more than 10 pounds in the first week. And I'm going, what's going on? And he's laughing because he says, I drink too. I go to the bars and I drink rum and Coke. Hey, thanks, Bruce. I really appreciate that. In fact, my phone just lit up, but I got it through PayPal. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Wait, we got to give you some we'll get you some. Here we go. Anyway, so another guy said to me, and he was talking, we were having lunch, and another guy says, yeah, I'm losing a lot, but I'm not taking very much. I went down to 5 units, half a milligram twice a week, and I'm losing a weight. And in conversation, he goes, well, I go to the bar and I drink. And I go, that's the second person that mentioned that. That's really weird. So I decided to experiment. So I wasn't going anywhere. Carolyn left town. She went to the province, and I went ahead and got a bottle of rum a friend gave me. Hadn't opened it. It's been here, for a while. And I decided to go ahead and drink alcohol. Now, I had rum and Diet Coke. And I was with a friend and here at the house in the evening, and I started drinking, and I got pretty plastered. Now, I normally lose about maybe 1 kilo a week, which is 2.2 pounds, maybe 2.5 pounds in a week. And in 3 days from the drinking of the one night, I dropped 4 pounds. And I've been steadily, only losing 2 pounds a week, sometimes 1.5, sometimes 2.5, but steadily 2 pounds. And I lost more than that in 3 days. I go, what the heck is going on here? So I went on to chat, and I checked on chat. And on ChatGPT, I asked it specifically about rum and Coke, and that a couple people had mentioned it, and what I bought, retatrutide with 5-amino. And it said that I'm not the only one. It actually didn't even know I could tell you that. I'm not the only one that has mentioned that, and that the reason why it's doing that is that it amplifies the effects of the GLP-1, which is one of the agonists, one of the 3 items that is in retatrutide. So it literally amplifies the effects. So so I said, okay, well, I'll drink every other day or every third day and see what happens. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna. It's only been 2 days. I haven't drank again. I don't really feel good usually when I drink, so I don't particularly like to drink. But I'm going to try it like every third day and see if the following week if I lose faster, because it was amazing. It really did affect quite a bit in 3 days. But there are people now going to be coming to Dumaguete, and they tell me they want to talk to me about these peptides. I have multiple peptides now. They're coming out of China left and right. So there's peptides that take the place of Cialis and Viagra. There's a peptide that does it, and it's a natural libido. And you could use it on both male and female. You could tell her you're losing weight, but you could give her the peptide for increasing her desires. They have peptides for so many things, crazy things. If you're peeing through the night and you have a prostate problem, there's peptides for that. If you have pain in your back or ankle or shoulder or certain kind of pains, there's 2 peptides for that, which is TB500 and BP. BP 157. BPC 157. The 2 of them in combination will heal. It doesn't mask the pain like a pain pill. it heals the injury and inflammation. Well, reach out to an alcohol company for a sponsorship. I love it. Good one. Best one so far, Bruce. I'm not a big drinker. Why would I? Oh, skin removal. I'm not. Basically, if you exercise and you lose on a steady basis, and you stretch, exercise, do weightlifting and stuff like that, you don't have all the flabby skin like you see in some of the pictures where the Biggest Loser on TV and stuff like that. They lose 100 pounds in 3 to 6 months. It doesn't work that way. I have a little bit of hanging skin, but your body will absorb the skin if it's not too fast. In this case, just losing a couple pounds a week, your body will absorb the excess skin, so you don't need to worry about that. Red Horse beer. I'm just not a beer drinker, man. I'm sorry, Jammer. I'm just not. But they have. I'm sure they have skin removal surgery here, but I would never consider it. I would just work on exercising and have the body naturally absorb the excess skin. It just does. Anyway, I think I still want the sponsorship for the alcohol company. That sounds like a good one. Anyway, so the peptide revolution continues. I'll do a video soon on my third month. I haven't actually reached 3 months yet. It's 2 more days. On November 2nd will be my third month. So I'm down 40 pounds as of this morning. So I'm going to give myself a big hand. That was pretty good. That was a big step. Anyway, so peptides are happening. I have, like I said, many peptides for many purposes. Some build up cartilage and densify your muscle. They're coming through. The peptides are coming out. I have so many different peptides. It's a joke. So I had to put a sheet on each one because I couldn't remember which one's for which. It's honestly too confusing. So the benefits. I don't know your first name, but we'll go with Rigo Park, New York City. Okay. The benefits of what you're doing to your heart health are immense. I'll bet you if you have an oximeter, your testing heart rate comes down. Well, I've always had a very low heart rate. So my heart rate was typically in the 60, anywhere from 58 to 62. However, one of the peptides I'm taking increases your heart rate, which is the retatrutide. It increases your heart rate, so you're constantly using calories, okay? So now my average heart rate raised from 58 to 60 to about 65 to 68. I'll say 67, 66, 67. But I guarantee you, when I tested last year, I tested and went on a treadmill. They said that I'm way below my age physically. Retatrutide is available in America, Jammer. Unfortunately, it's expensive. You have to go on a clinic trials with a doctor. There's several. You can go on YouTube and find a doctor that they sell it, but they do make quite a bit of money. One is Trevor Bachmeyer. He's annoying to listen to because he is the best. And being the best, he knows he's the best. And he lets you know that he's the best. And whatever he says goes. Usually I skip the first 10 minutes of Trevor on any of his YouTube videos. But he is very knowledgeable. So Trevor Bachmeyer, Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer is on YouTube. And he sells it through a separate company. You have to go on his trials. He actually has a membership you could join. But that's $6,000 US to join his membership. I would never do it, but that's okay. My best friend growing up, my cousin Mike, took both jabs and boosters, ended up with a super cancer, and is now in New York City, Bellevue Hospice, not expected to make it to the weekend. I'm very sorry about that, Paul, but peptides don't cause cancer. So, he took the jabs. Oh, he took the COVID-19 jabs. Okay. Yeah. God, what are we going to say about COVID-19? Yeah, that was a joke, wasn't it? My good friend also took the jab. I told him, no, you shouldn't. He was a truck driver. I was a truck driver. He insisted that it'll keep him from being sick. He got the jab. Several doctors said he should. He did. All of a sudden, he had heart arrhythmia. He went back for his booster. I said, "Are you crazy? Why did you take it in the first place?" He took the booster and he died. Very good friend. So, excuse me. So, there isn't anything positive I can say about COVID-19. That was, I don't know. That was a power struggle. The whole world went on it. Something they'll talk about for 100 years from now. Anyway, catching up from the start. I'm sorry, I went too fast. It just jumped on me. Catching up from the start by Alex. At 1.5 times. Unfortunately, I'm zoning out because life. Well, no COVID jab. Yeah, I never took it either, Mike. I had a lot of problems not taking the jab. I actually had to leave the country. In Las Vegas, they required us to take the COVID-19 shot, and or you couldn't leave your house, and you couldn't have anybody over, and you had to show proof of having it in order to go to the market or the restaurant. Limited seating. I left. I left for Mexico. So I didn't take it. I almost took it in Mexico in order to get to the Philippines, but then I decided, now, because they won't give me a certificate that I got it in Mexico, I waited in line for several hours in the heat, and when I got to the front, they said they only give proof of COVID injections to citizens. They'll give me the COVID shot, but they won't give me proof. And I said, so I'm only taking it for the paper so I can get into the Philippines. So I said, I got out of line. I said, forget it. I went home. And thank God because of that. Yeah, they don't know the long-term effects. Well, they never told you what was in it. They also made it. They I don't know who it is. Is it the American Medical Association or the president at the time? I don't know, but they released any liability by the pharmaceutical companies that put that out, and there was different types, and they got it out in 6 months, and they had not enough. They didn't have any long-term testing, and they called it, they acted like it was like something you had to have, like polio, a polio shot or something of that nature. It wasn't. We don't know what the long term is, unfortunately. A lot of people, older people who had pre-existing conditions, died because of COVID, and also because of the COVID shot. So hard to say. I'm sure they'll be talking about it for many years. I'm sure the truth will come out. Fauci, the doctor who made millions, if not billions, and a few of the political and other people who made, they're all going to have bad karma. That's what all I can say. They should have bad karma. Yeah, I had to wait also. I went to Mexico for 2 years till a lot of things blew over. Then when I saw that they were quarantining in the Philippines, I went to Thailand that didn't require a quarantine. I figured I'll be closer to the Philippines. And then 6 months during the time I was in Thailand, which I did like Thailand, mask was required. But then they finally opened up the Philippines without quarantine, and so I came over here. I won't be going back to the USA. There's nothing there. I have 2 sons. Oh, by the way, one son is his birthday today. In the States, he's October 30th. And he's 40 years old. I can't believe I have a 40-year-old son, okay? I mean, seriously. It's hard to wrap my head around it, but I actually have an older son. He's my younger son. So I have a 41-year-old as well. I just talked to him, by the way, this morning around 5 a.m. my time. and we conference called on Messenger, video chatted, and he's slightly bald. I hope he's not listening to this. He has a receding hairline. It's like, oh my God, I can remember when I was having a receding hairline. I mean, let me see. Well, it's delayed. I'll have to see what that looks like when it comes up. But I don't know. I know three people that died from shot, none from COVID. Yeah, right. I know, Mike. It's sad. It's a sad time in our year that, or in our lives, or that we had to live through that. It's horrible. Also, they were pushing on young children. A few young athletes had problems. So it's very sad. The way not to have flabby skin, according to Alexander, is by fasting, not by lifting. The doctor who didn't eat for a year and lost almost 300 pounds, good God, had no loose skin. Well, okay, fasting works. I actually am one meal a day right now, Alex. I eat only one meal a day. I really don't have much of an appetite anymore. I've got used to one meal a day. It took time. Again, I've been doing this for 3 months in 2 days. I might have an apple at night, or I might have a piece of fish, but typically I only eat one meal a day at around 11, either from 11 a.m. to about 1 p.m. I start to feel a little bit hungry. And so the one meal a day seems to be helping too, losing weight. Sorry, guys, I need my coffee. It's early. I usually get up at about 7:30. I make my coffee. I start getting around by 8, and then by 9 o'clock, I'm almost awake. I go to the mall and I walk at 9. I like the walking, but I've been pretty busy with the motorcycle rentals, scooter rentals. We had a whole bunch of bikes sitting here. They all came back at one time, and now I'm down to 2. I think I had 13 to 15 bikes sitting outside. It looked like a parking lot. And now I only have 2 left. Everybody rented. In the last 2-3 days, everybody rented scooters. It was crazy. Paul's in the USA. Sorry to hear that. I will not be going back unless one of my sons need me. But again, happy birthday, Jake. If you're listening, you're a great kid. He is a great kid. I do miss my son. I am leaving in January 26, 2026. I'm going to Vietnam for 1 or 2 weeks. I haven't decided. Starting off in Ho Chi Minh, and then from there I might go to another city with a friend who's going to be moving over there. He wants to show me a couple other friends. 7:30 p.m., huh? And where are you, Mike? I'd have to look back, but where are you right now, Mike? And you say, I'll have a mic for you. I'll have a bike for you, Mike. Not a problem. I'll have a bike for you. Yes, there's a lot of rain right now, but it's mostly at night. The days are warm, humid. It rains a little bit at night. Only at night, though. So I think that's why all of a sudden the bikes were raining, because it was raining during the day, and everybody was returning the scooters. They didn't want to ride in the rain. I don't blame them. It's miserable to ride a scooter in the rain, so I do it, but only if I have to. Sam says he's not going back to the U.S. either. I don't blame you. You can't blame me. Maybe short visits. Not a chance. Not happening with me. My 27-year-old son just visited and wants to move here too. Oh, well, that's wonderful. That would even be better yet. But he's awfully young. He won't be able to get a decent income here, so you'll have to think about that, Sam. You're in Wisconsin. Okay, I liked Wisconsin. So Wisconsin has, I spent a lot of time driving through Wisconsin delivering steel when I was a trucker for a couple years. And they have a giant park off the freeway that you can see with multiple slides. They have fishing, hunting, lots of trees. Beautiful, beautiful. I like Wisconsin. Where is Paul? Well, Paul's taking a break. I think he got burnt out on lives. He might come back. I might get him back eventually, but he got burnt out. He went from every week, every other week, once a month to where is Paul? I don't know. HOI, Hoi and Vietnam. I don't know the area of Hoi An, and I'm assuming VN is Vietnam, is underwater right now. So they're getting a lot of rain. Well, I'm not going until January, so I'm sure everything will be fine in January. And I'm going to be going to Area 1, which is the main part, right where everything is. The trees in Oregon have all turned fall colors. That's nice. More rain, but it's cold rain with snow. Wow, you're already getting snow. It's already changing the weather. Well, I remember weather changed in Las Vegas towards the end of October. Yeah, I would start getting cold. So, eating a Wisconsin bratwurst. What's the name of the cheese they have in Wisconsin? They have a certain cheese that they have in Wisconsin. You can only get it there. Is it curd? Or, it's really good. From Austin, Texas. Hello, Gerald. And good evening. What time is it in Austin? Well, if it's... Ooh, I missed it. I lost it already. It just disappeared. Let's see. Paul, I go back for a month or so every 6 months right before the exit clearance kicks in. As last time my brother-in-law died, I'm so sorry. And now cousin who was only 63 just 4 months ago, older than me. Colby. Well, no, it's not the cheese curds. Yeah. They're called cheese curds. I think you can only get them in Wisconsin. They're little squares. They melt in your mouth. They're unusual taste. It's kind of weird, the cheese curds, but they're really good. My son found out a former coworker went independent and lives in the Philippines and uses Filipino VCs for 90% of his work and just does the closings. So you'll look into that. Okay, cool. My sons have no interest in coming to the Philippines. Alex. One's autistic, and he can't handle change. He's pretty much set in his ways. And the other one, he's not real close to me. We kind of fell apart. He was the opposite of a Trumper. So without going into politics, let's just say we didn't see eye to eye on politics. And he literally broke off relations with me over Trump, which was incredibly stupid. But what can I say? Yeah, cheese curds. Got it. The guy that does house calls for the testosterone jab. Yes. Does he test first? Does he do the pellets also? I don't know what the pellets are. He does not test. He is a nurse, registered nurse, but he just gives you the shot. A little different here. Not a whole lot of requirements here like there are in the U.S. You could have, first of all, it's only a few hundred pesos for a doctor. You don't even need a doctor for prescription, so you can get over the counter. You can get prescripted medicine over the counter here without a doctor. I'm reading that the Indians spent $11 billion in 2 days of their holiday buying 40 tons of gold. Oh, India. Okay, India. Most coins and bars over jewelry. Your gold prediction for the next 6 months? We'll get into that. Cheese curds are in Michigan as well. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Hello from Montana. Use a straw would be drinking your coffee. Nah, I don't like drinking out of a straw, especially a metal straw. I hate metal straws. They clatter on your teeth. Paul says, yeah, they send a nurse out and do a blood test, as Mark Thornton has his done that way. I just take the pills with blood tests. Okay. I don't test. I know mine was low. It was low back in the States. I get HGH and testosterone shots. They're 500 pesos each. He comes to me. I don't deal with it. But now I found a source for HGH, and I know you're supposed to take it almost daily. And I could buy a bottle out of China and do my own injections, since I'm doing injections for peptides. So I'll probably just get my own HGH and do that. It'll be a little bit cheaper. He's not that expensive at 500 pesos, but I can get it myself and do it. And I know how much he uses, and I know what. And the only problem I do have with having somebody else do the injections is it's an open bottle. He's using a clean needle, but it's an open bottle, so I don't know if he's watered it down or not. So my concern is he giving me full strength injections? Is he even giving me HGH and testosterone? Don't know. I think all Americans and most people are distrustful. So, and it's a possibility that he could be shooting me with bacteriostatic water, which is BAC water, which we use with the peptides to reconstitute. And basically that's water with a 0.9% alcohol, and you wouldn't tell the difference. You couldn't tell. He shows me the needle, how much he's giving to me, but who knows it's clear. I don't know what it is. It's clear material. So I prefer to do my own testing of products. That's why I test the peptides. They're tested in Manila to make sure that they're 99% or higher quality and purity. So anyway, okay, so we're going to get into precious metals and some other things. Let me see, though. I have some notes here, so let me look at some of my notes first. Before we get into there is a couple new peptides, so you can look into it. By the way, the PPC 157 and the TB 500 are great for inflammation if you have joint pains or injury, so like shoulder injuries, back injuries, stuff like that. Tesamorelin is a synthetic growth hormone. It also reduces visceral fat, and for maximum benefits, most of these peptides, they say that you should exercise. And MOTS-C is another one that's very good for mitochondrial strengthening, long-term health and aging benefits. Epitolin now, basically it helps you lower your body's age. There's a guy named, if you want to look it up on some of these, Dr. Josh Axe, Joshaxe is his last name. He's very good about these. I'll try and put a copy of a link to it if I get a chance later after this live. And also, you can always look up Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer. Those two are very good. Okay, let's talk about USA debt. All right. So the most recent figures of the U.S. federal government debt and interest payments, according to the U.S. Department of Treasury data, and I'm sorry, I have to read it from my phone. The total gross federal debt is about $37.85 trillion as of early October 2025. The net interest expense currently is just the interest paid on our debt. The government is spending $1 trillion to $1.1 trillion this year on interest payments. Now, that's not sustainable. I hope you guys realize that that's not totally sustainable. And if anybody's been watching gold and silver, they know there's going to be problems because gold has more than doubled. Silver has doubled. And we've had many countries go through this type of situation in the past where they have stages of collapse on the monetary system. They say that there's 8 stages. The 9th stage is total collapse. So keep this in mind. And there's been quite a few countries that have collapsed. I believe about 5 or 6 in the last 100 years. Typically, the average, they last between 50 and 80 years on whatever monetary fund they're using. The U.S. has been using the U.S. dollar for 81 years. So what I've studied is we're in stage 6. Stage 6, we printed money, which creates inflation. We've kept the interest rates down as low as possible, but other countries are now looking for alternative ways to trade for oil or between each other. They're not using the U.S. dollar anymore. They've lost trust in the U.S. dollar, and that's a big problem. When countries lose trust in the U.S. dollar, they start selling off their treasury notes and don't buy any more, and eventually people won't take the U.S. dollar to buy goods, so that's a big problem. That's what created the euro. The yen's very strong. The yen's being used in the Middle East to buy oil. And the U.S. dollar is no longer purchasing oil in Iraq. China's been dumping U.S. Treasury certificates. They were holding them. They had $1 trillion. They have less than that, quite a bit less than that. They may have $600 billion now. The next stage, they say, stage 7, will be looking into alternative methods of paying for goods. And those alternative methods could be crypto, like Bitcoin, and the dollar is no longer sustainable. Now, you have to realize that gold and silver have been rising quite a bit against the U.S. dollar. And it dropped off a little bit, but I can guarantee you it's going to go up higher. Gold and silver are going to go up higher. And we will soon in the U.S., I expect within 5 years, have runaway inflation. The value of the dollar is not worth the paper it's printed on. We could last 5 to 10 years, but eventually it'll come crashing down, and it's just not in a sustainable situation anymore. They can go to 0% interest. It's still, if people don't trust the dollar, U.S. dollar anymore, you got real problems. At stage 7, and we're in 6, people are going to go to the Brits, the euro, crypto, or an alternative method of payment. Russia got rid of all their U.S. holdings of the U.S. dollar. And the Middle East is not accepting U.S. dollars, so that trend shall continue. Stage 8, which is going to be anywhere in the next 5 or 10 years, nobody any longer trusts the U.S. dollar. Other countries won't trade for it. It'll have lost its desirability. At that stage, we'll have inflation paying for over 80 years of privileged spending. And we privileged spent. I'll get to your questions or comments in a moment. The problem is stages 6, 7, and 8 go very quickly. Once 6 hits, which we're in, 7 and 8 come very quickly, much faster than the first 5 stages. So I'm going to say we have less than 10 years. Probably within the next 5 years, we'll start seeing more of the same, what I just spoke about. Before our money, the U.S. dollar is no longer worth the paper it's printed on. And when the debts become unsustainable, the trade deficits become impossible to bear. At stage 8 to 9, which happens almost overnight, the world no longer sees the U.S. dollar for something that they need to trade in or want or need or value. So you wonder, what can you put your money into to hold some value? Well, we all want net. And, it's not going to be boats or cars because they drop in value. If people don't have money, they're not going to be able to purchase many things, and the value of things drop because the people don't really want the cash. What are they going to do with it anyway? But you certainly don't want things that use fuel or oil. If there becomes a barter system, believe it or not, alcohol is actually a very good physical value barter item. I remember way back in the U.S., I bought cases of little 1 and 3 ounce bottles of different types of liquor by the case, and I stockpiled those, and you could barter with that. So you can buy that online or from a dealer, an alcohol dealer, and you could trade with that. Gold and silver would obviously be very valuable, especially gold. Silver has a long way to go before it reaches its peak as an investment. This is, again, my opinion. Silver is a better investment because a bigger chance to double, triple, or quadruple. But in the end, after silver hits over $100 an ounce, and there'll There'll be plateaus, obviously. 50 was a big ceiling that it broke through recently, and it dropped back below that floor. It'll go back, I believe it'll go back over 50, and the next ceiling is going to be every $10. There'll be a ceiling, so 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 100 will be a big one too. It'll probably surpass the $100 mark, no problem. But the thing is, gold, in time, gold has outlasted for thousands of years, and now some countries are talking about rebacking their currency against gold. And that's eventually what everybody will go back to. It'll start over, and they'll back their currency on gold. And gold may be, at that time, over $5,000 an ounce, but that's what they'll do. If you want to prepare for the loss of food available, there's another thing you do, of course, because you'll have empty shelves due to the breakdown of transportation and inflation. Again, my opinion. Transportation will break down because of the lack of delivery, because of trucks using a lot of fuel and oil, and the cost to be too prohibited to ship and deliver. So there's going to be shortages. So obviously, if you want to prepare for the future, I would strongly suggest freeze-dried food in large quantities, sealed in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers that can last over 10 years. There are companies that have a food that'll last for 30 years if kept in a cool place. Honey will last for thousands of years. Grains, lentils, legumes, white rice, grains, freeze-dried fruits, and powdered milk and powdered eggs will keep very long term. You could buy those. I'm not going to go into what companies are. You can look into freeze-dried foods and everything else. The Mormons have their own products that are excellent, by the way. The problem is you got to be careful about nuts, brown rice, or anything with high oil content. It becomes rancid and unedible, so they don't last as long. And food will be important to have. You can't stockpile gas. That's too dangerous. Obviously, firearms will have larger sales again because people are going to want to protect what they have, especially if there's looting, loss of power in homes or cities. People resort to violence when the shit hits the fan. I'll be honest with you. When the U.S. dollar eventually falls, which it has no choice, it will fall. It will affect the whole world. Whole world will feel it. So that's my say on precious metals. It's a lot. I'm sorry to say, we're going to go back. Mike says he has some silver rounds. Can I bring them to the Philippines? You can if you're not a lot of weight. There is a 10,000 U.S. dollar value to bring in. The only problem with them here, Mike, is there's not a whole lot of places to sell it, especially in Dumaguete. You're going to end up being either in Cebu or Manila. There's no coin stores here, and the places that are like pawn shops, they don't even know how to test for it. They're not knowledgeable here. So you can bring them here if it's not too heavy, if it's not a lot. But if you have more than 100 ounces, I would just leave them in the States because the States have a lot more opportunity to sell, and they're a lot more competitive on price. If you're going back and forth, it won't matter. Let's see. So Callie asks about, we're kind of off subject there. Silver is $48.70. I'll get back to you, Callie. Silver's at $48.70 now. Yes, I know it went below the 50 mark. I think it went up to 52 or so, 54. It'll go back up. Typically rises towards the end of the year and just after the year. Paul says, thanks you for mentioning the pharmacy as I go to one by mail. Also, Grace Pharmacy downtown. One of the pharmacies that are here in town, if you mention my name, sorry, I'm actually finding a cold. One of the pharmacies you go to is Citi, C-I-T-I, drugs. CITI drugs. And if you mention my name, you can get just about anything over the counter. no opiates. They don't allow opiates here. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit. Let me go down. As I trained healthcare pro stay lab work, I would recommend every 3 months TRT leads to viscosity of blood increasing red blood cell production and can lead to pulmonary embolism. Well, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. And continues to say pulmonary embolism. Oops, I just lost it. Shoot. Never good. Okay. Callie says Robert Law 101 Gold Talk. Oh, is that a good one? Robert Law? Okay. Watching from San Diego. Hi. Alejandro. I like that name. God bless you too. Good job. Get to weightlifting to add lean muscle. Yeah, I need to start doing some light weightlifting. Nothing heavy. I actually prefer resistance bands, so I have resistance bands I could use here. Thank you. Maria, looking good, my love. Well, guess who that is? Hi, baby. Didn't realize she was watching me. She never watches my lives. We've been together 32. We just had our 32nd, I think, anniversary. But Maria Carolina is Carolyn, and she does artwork, by the way. If you go on to Maria Carolina Portraits, you'll see it. Carolyn does drawings. She's gotten very good since I've known her, and she gets commissions for doing drawings of families, family portraits, babies. She's done I prefer animals, but she's very good with people. She likes the eyes. MOTC 5-amino 1-MQ and CJC 1295 with just got the ipamorelin are the best. Those are good. There's a lot. There's a lot now. There's the Klow, KLOW, which I take. I also take MOTC. I take the 5-amino with the retatrutide. I do not take the CJC 1295. I do take the ipamorelin. Ipamorelin is you take it for 20 days every day, and then you're off, I believe, for a month, and then you take it again. Alex says, I think countries will diversify and back their currency with several different rare earth minerals. That's a possibility. Rare earth minerals instead of gold. That's a possibility. Issues until we start space mining, economies will have a cap. Well, yeah, and we have but they'll go back to gold. Gold's been around for so long, thousands of centuries as a value of asset. Everything goes back to gold. I don't know if the U.S. even has any gold anymore. Fort Worth, where they're supposed to have the gold inventory for the world, I believe it's Fort Worth. We haven't had an audit of the U.S. gold, I think, in 75 years, maybe longer, 80 years. There's been no video and no auditing of the gold that we're supposed to have in storage. They say we still have gold in the U.S., but nobody's seen it or heard about it. And I'm sorry, Fort Knox. You're right. And Fort Knox supposedly has. I said Fort Worth. Fort Knox supposedly has other world golds, but they've been calling and asking for the gold to be returned to those countries. I just question whether or not we have it. So that's a big question. When Nixon took us off the gold standard, did he pilfer Fort Knox and use the gold up to pay for things, including his pocket and other demon rats? I don't know. Advantage says invest in ammunition. Well, that's been going on for a long time. Guns and ammunition. Again, they'll probably put restraints on that. They did it once before, limiting how much ammunition. Even talked about they couldn't stop the gun. They tried to stop guns ownership of guns, and then they figured, well, we'll go on the ammunition and limit how much ammunition you can buy, and we'll register the ammunition. I don't think that went over either, obviously. Yeah, I think they stole. I think our government has stolen its gold out of Fort Knox, and don't think it's there. Most people say it's been gone for years. I agree. Yeah, France asked for their gold years ago. I don't know if they got it. No, they didn't. He says they never got it. Okay, Mike. It's a big serious problem. You know, we were a world leader on precious metal holdings, and everybody trusted the dollar and trusted our government, and now they don't. That's a very serious situation when other countries don't trust you and they don't want to invest in you, and they're not willing to accept your dollars or let you hold their precious metals for them and ask for it back. That doesn't help the situation any. That actually makes things progress quickly. Big serious problem. Yeah, surgery is very good. If you can go to airlines now cover their ass. It's as simple as that. If you're on your deathbed, they're not going to take you easily unless you have the funds to have a private plane take you to Thailand to a hospital. It is only 5 hours away, and the hospitals in Thailand are a lot better. However, sometimes you don't have a choice. You're not coherent. You may be in a coma. If you have a strong heart attack, you're going to have to deal with it here. So if you go to Thailand for a planned surgery, that's fine. And also, another thing even before that is you should get insurance here, medical insurance. In the ebook, there's 2 places to get medical insurance. One is before you leave the States, and it's temporary insurance for up to 90 days, which will cover you in every country except for the U.S. So when you leave, you have coverage as you travel to different countries. The other one is the Philippine 1 million peso policy, which I mentioned in the ebook. That's very affordable for a guy that's in his mid 60s. It's under $1,000 a year. So just say it calls $1,000 US a year. It's 100% coverage for up to 1 million pesos, and 1 million pesos will cover open heart surgery. It'll cover a lot of things. So they found eggs at Fort Knox. Well, and I bet they weren't gold eggs from Paris. I don't know what they found, but Chuck, that's funny. But in any case, we have a whole army base there to protect Fort Knox, and there's probably nothing in the damn place. And they're never going to show it. They're never going to show it because we all know that they stole it years ago. Once they took us off the gold standard. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And people are starting to not trust. I mean, come on. Do we really trust our politicians in America? No. We've lost faith in them. It used to be rah, 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 USA, buy USA, made in USA 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, but not any longer. So I don't know what to say. People are recently lining up in the U.S. to buy gold. In Thailand, it's hard to move a gold-proof coin since they stamp their gold in Thailand, and the dealers prefer that. Well, they have, and also they don't use the same. They don't use the troy ounce in Asia, and they use. They have different weights system, and they have a totally different gram weight for the gold. But whatever. Well, I believe I didn't say he was a medical doctor. He's Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer, Rick. He may be a chiropractor, but he's extremely knowledgeable about peptides and what he's talking about. He's also, I'm trying to say it in a polite way. Though he's knowledgeable, he also is conceited. He's brutally. He's just what he comes across on his video tube about talking about different things. It comes across as an asshole. There's no other way to say it. The guy's an asshole, but he is extremely knowledgeable, and his videos do have a lot of information. I typically skip the first 10 to 15 minutes of his video because all he's going to do is talk about himself and how stupid everybody else is. I hate that, but. What are you going to do? Okay, but he probably is one of the most knowledgeable doctors on peptides out there. So if you want to learn about the different peptides and listen to him, he goes into it in detail, and he's very good. Sometimes he contradicts himself on how to reconstitute certain ones that are a little more difficult, because one of them uses DMSO. Can't remember which one right now, but there's one that uses DMSO, and it has to be done in a very complicated way. And DMSO is a solvent, and if you don't do it right, you ruin the whole peptide. Well, gold will always be number one. Rigo, New York. Gold will always be the number one metal. Senator Paul of Kentucky has been asking years for audit of Fort Knox, the Federal Reserve, as it is manipulated by banks. Well, they're never going to do it, because they'll lose all faith when they actually do it, because they know it's not there. Let's see. Does anyone ever pan for gold in the rivers outside of Duma? I've had a couple of people ask me. They wanted to get metal detectors and check out mines, but you don't use metal detectors to check out mines. That's not how you find gold in mines. So where do you start? I was a gold refiner and had a gold refineries and jewelry stores for 45 years, okay? And it was, I actually had two companies, PRS, Precious Recovery Services, and then another refinery. Can't even remember the name of it. That's so funny. But anyway, and I also had the Goldfinger refiner, where we had no name, just was called Gold Refiner. And we recovered gold from many different things over the years. My grandfather started it. My father ran it, and I started helping him before I got out of high school. So we had mines that we worked. We recovered gold from mines. We recovered gold, secondary gold, which is jewelry, dental gold, photographic silver. We worked with large corporations, a lot of gold, okay, over the years. Nobody really knows too much about gold here. They're not experts on it. They don't have metal detectors stores here. You'd have to ship it in or order it from Amazon. I don't know if they have any jewelry here on beaches unless you go to they're not wealthy in Duma. But if you could start going to Manila or Cebu, maybe they check the beaches for people that lost rings or jewelry. But they're not real knowledgeable about gold here. They don't know about dry washing. They don't know too much about panning. They don't know about sluicing. They don't have that kind of equipment here. They just don't have it here. And I believe the country is very protective of its precious metals reserves because of when Japan invaded Philippines, they took most of the precious metals and hid them in mountains and stuff. And they don't want anybody else to get to it. BBC 157 has been linked to cancer with long-term use. Don't buy that. Don't buy that because this is a peptide. A peptide is a natural occurring product in your body makeup. Okay, I don't know where you heard this, Rick, but don't buy that. Okay, I've read enough information on it and followed enough people on peptides, so tumor growth not happening. It doesn't create cancer. It's something that you read somewhere by somebody that was unknowledgeable, and you just want to repeat it and think it's the truth. But no, it is incorrect. So just go on chat. Go ask chat. Oh, unfortunately, the USA with chat. Don't use USA chat because USA chat covers their ass. The chat in USA doesn't tell you the 100% truth. It'll say that it's it's in tests, it's in trials, it's not FDA approved, blah, blah, blah. I was told I was terminally going to die in 2010. Okay? I'm supposed to be dead right now. Okay? If I had listened to two oncologists, I had 3 months to live, and all I could do is buy a gravesite and plan my death. And I'm cancer-free today. I had pancreatic cancer, and it was terminal. Don't believe the medical association at all in the U.S. It is controlled by the Federal Drug Administration, the American Medical Association, and by Big Pharma. Nothing you read or hear as far as medicine in the U.S. is true. You can cure cancer, and they don't even want peptides in the U.S. Because the FDA is dragging its heels on peptides, and the peptides have been around for a lot longer than you realize. But living in the USA, you're in a bubble, and you will never know the truth about medicine in the USA until you leave the USA, and you find out that there are cures for a lot of the things that they say we can't cure. And cancer is one of them. Cancer is easily cured, but they make so much money, and it comes down to money. They make so much money doing chemo and radiation therapy and things like that, that doctors can't even talk to you about alternative methods to cure because they'll lose their license. I don't know what a niffler is. Nifflers? I don't know what that is, Alex. Anyway. Went to the gold district in China, Mike says. Chinatown, Manila. Man, was that crazy. They have a lot of very pure gold in China. They like 22 and 24 karat gold. They don't do anything with 18 karat. That's trash. Hard time having 18 karat even in the U.S. Every country has a little bit different karat. Mexico likes 8 karat gold. I don't like 10 karat gold in the U.S. We have 10 and 14 and 18 karat gold in the U.S. 10 karat can actually tarnish, and it's not enough sufficient gold. And then you have 9 karat in the UK and 18 karat. And most of Asia is 90% to higher, which is 22 karat to 24. Okay. Most of the gold in Mindanao and CDO, and biggest gold mine in Masbate, and good areas are Bhutan and Surigao, and some aquatic gold in South Luzon. To be careful buying in the Philippines. Yeah, you definitely have to be careful in the Philippines. A niffler, is that how to say? Is from Harry Potter. It's a creature that searches for gold. Oh, okay. I don't watch Harry Potter. That's why I didn't know what it was, Alex. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. So anyway, I wish we had one of those. I'd put him on a leash and take him around. But I have extensive knowledge in placer mining, hard rock mining. I had gold refineries, recovered gold from many different places, and silver and platinum. Separated the metals, made them pure, dropped them out of solution. We dealt with acids, and we dealt with cyanide in separate buildings. Stripped electronics. 45 years, man. I did 45 years. I've forgotten more than I can remember, probably. But how to test for gold and everything else was quite involved. And I also had jewelry stores, and I also had buy-sell stores. I never had a pawn shop. I worked at a pawn shop, but I never owned a pawn shop. I was hired for a little while at $1,000 a week back in 2013, I think it was, or 14, for several years at $1,000 a week to oversee their gold over the counter, because gold shot up over $1,000 an ounce. It was hitting 1,800 roughly, and they got so busy, but they needed someone to check and test because they were getting ripped off by people that were bringing in gold filled, or the guys didn't know how to test for it. And it's a complicated process. I made a chart for them. The very first thing you use is a magnet. That's the very first thing. Gold's not magnetic. The underlying metals are not magnetic. So that's the very first thing. And you can't just use a magnet. It's how you use a magnet. So you want to use a chain, and you put it up on a pencil, say, and it's dangling down, and then you put the magnet towards the bottom. And if it curves a little towards the magnet, and then it might be stainless steel with very little iron. So if you put it on a glass table and you put a very strong magnet, and we used really strong magnets, ones that would hurt you if you put your finger between two magnets. If it drags across a glass table and follows the magnet, it ain't gold. And then there's scratch tests where you have to file a little bit inside and put a drop of Schwartz fluid or a nitric acid and see if it changes color. you can't just rub it on a stone. Rubbing on a stone tells you the actual carat on the outside. So if you have gold filled and you rub it on a stone, which is a black stone, and then put drops of acid on it, great. So the outside is 14 or 18 karat, but the inside could be nothing. It could be junk. So a lot of people don't know how to test for gold. And I did that for years and years and years, testing for gold. I had stores. Also for silver. Schwartz fluid is great for silver. But again, you do have to cut into it. And if the Schwartz fluid turns green, it's got a copper base. If it turns red, based on the deepness of the red, whether it be blood red or a lighter red, it tells you the purity of the silver. They also now have machines, guns. They didn't have that when I was in business. They have guns that will go through the top layer and tell you whether it's solid or not, and the karat gold or the silver percentage. About 10 years ago, says Rigo, out of New York, I went on a tour of the gold held at the U.S. Federal Reserve in Manhattan. You have to submit your name months ahead, and they have background checks. Yeah, but that's not Fort Knox. Fort Knox is supposed to have the world gold in it. I don't think they do. I'm pretty sure we pilfered it. But you could tell us what you saw at the Federal Reserve in Manhattan. There also was the collapse in 9/11 of the towers. In the bottom basement floor was supposed to be vaults of precious metal. Yet days before, and this is documented, days before the collapse of the Twin Towers, Brinks, I don't know if it was Brinks trucks or other money-secured trucks like Brinks trucks, were lined up, and they don't know what they were loading, but they took everything out 2 days before, and that is documented. So how do they know 2 days before to take everything out, and what did they take out? Don't know. Can't trust our own government. That's the problem. When you can't trust somebody, and nobody else can trust the U.S. either. So when you lose faith, you've lost the war. So he says, the day you go to see the gold New York, you have to take everything out of your possession, even wallets, and leave it in an unlocked locker where armed guards watch your stuff. Okay. Why only 33 likes? I don't know. I haven't been watching. I got 230 views. I don't know. I can't see my likes. They have a stupid system now. Let's see. Stream Health is excellent. They've changed their whole thing now on YouTube. 32 likes. You're right. Yeah. 56 concurrent viewers. I don't know. Who knows? Hit the like button, you guys. Anyway, isn't that underground New York City? Yes. And did they show you upstairs Regal Park? No, it's underground. You got to go down an elevator. I didn't even know that you could view it, to be honest with you, in Manhattan. But you haven't told us what you saw. Did you see anything? and then the other problem is, if you did see something, you weren't able to touch it or test it. So I've seen gold bars come in and silver bars come in to my shop that were gold filled and gold plated, or looked like bars, but they were plastic. I've seen plastic bars that said 100 troy ounces gold. I've seen paperweights that said 100 troy ounces gold, and they weren't gold at all. I've seen people that try to paint bars and silver bars with silver paint. I've seen it all. Okay, people tear up gold foil, and throw it in their sand. It says that they dug it up out of their backyard. I've seen it all. I've seen the stupidest stuff. I had people come in with glass gems all over their purse and say that they're rubies, sapphires, and emeralds, and all they are is paste. We call it paste, but you could call it glass. William from Williams, Arizona. How you doing, William? I've been to Williams, Arizona several times. Thank you. In the shop, we see people that all tried all kinds of things. I also bought from jewelers. I recovered silver from watch batteries by the ton. Literally had thousands of pounds of watch batteries that we were buying all over the country. I did the cash for gold. I don't know if you remember back in the day there was cash for gold. I did the cash for gold, advertised it, and we got so much precious metal coming in that we ended up selling the cash for gold off that to another place in Texas. We sold it, and we sold the rights to it for quite a bit of money, and we got royalties. So for a good 10 years, we still got royalties. I think it was a 10-year. We never expected it to be so as big as it got. It got really big. But I had recovered precious metals from the jewelry industry. They did cyanide stripping, and we had something that recovered the gold from the cyanide before they dumped it down the drain. Film silver, dental gold from dentists. We used to buy it when dentists would have a cigar box full of dental gold, bridge work, things that are gold, sometimes with the teeth attached. I hate to say it, I remember my dad used to buy from funeral homes, and I talked to him about that when I took over, and I says, I'm not buying from funeral homes because I know where they got it from. I'm not dealing with that. But before I took it over, my dad would be buying gold from funeral homes. Pretty sad. That's fucked up, to be honest with you. I don't want to speak badly of my father. He's passed away. He's a good man. But that wasn't cool. We had jewelry gold. We had gold from different countries. We had got silver in so many different forms. It was ridiculous. I opened a shop right across from Pawn Stars in Las Vegas, Nevada, on Las Vegas Boulevard. We were right across the street, and we would buy the stuff that they rejected because they didn't know how to test it. I went in there one time, posing as a genuine, just a customer, and what I had was I noticed a ring that was marked platinum, that it wasn't platinum, but it was marked platinum. But if you tested it, and not too many people know how to test it, it wasn't platinum, okay? And they bought it for me as platinum. I just wanted to see if they figured it out or not. I didn't expect them to buy it. And they bought it and they paid me. Okay. They don't know what they're doing. The people working over there had no idea. And I actually used to deal with Rick and his dad when his dad was alive. My dad would go in there and speak to his dad, and I had met Rick several times, and I'd assist my dad. But when they became Pawn Stars, they didn't deal with us anymore. With our company, we paid cash for gold and silver. So we were very big because we advertised nationally in magazines, Modern Jeweler and other magazines. So we had bought a lot of gold and silver over the years, a lot of different forms. I paid the guys who parked cars at Pawn Stars, and I said, if a person comes out and they didn't buy their gold or silver, send them across the street to us, and we'll give you a finder's fee if we do business with them. And that happened quite a bit. 2026 plan for the channel. I feel like you were doing a lot of lives, then more videos. Now you're doing occasional lives and a few videos. Would you ever go on the road like Scotty Boy? No, I won't. Actually, I met Scotty Boy a few times when he was in Duma. Nice guy. I kind of liked him. I didn't realize how tall he was. And he's also a good-looking guy. I wasn't a fan of his, but I got to say he's changed a lot from the time he first started his channel, and he's very good at it. Will I travel like him? I can't get away at this time. I may sell Easy Rider rentals next year. I've talked about it because it's too much hands-on and I can't travel. And I'm getting there to the point where if I don't start traveling soon, I won't be able to. I'll probably get too old. I'll be 70 next year, so that's a big-ass number. And I like to travel with Carolyn, at least to see the Philippines and parts of Asia with her. She won't be going with me when I go to Vietnam in January. And I wish she could. I asked her to start working on her passport, and she's working on it so that she could travel with me. But so the plan for 2026 is actually to possibly sell off Easy Rider Rentals. It's a good moneymaker, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hands-on, but it is a good profit maker. I'm doing YouTube occasionally now. I don't have the time between the peptides, and right now with the getting the equipment and everything ready for the school for this Christmas is taking me a lot of time and effort to get everything ready for the school. I also get letters of approval from different agencies here, so I don't get any problems with. You can't just donate here. You can't just go in there and just donate. You have to get authorization. So I go to the barangay captains. I go to the school itself. I go to the Board of Education and get letters of approval. And eventually we'll hit the mayor up of Dumaguete and ask him for. There's different. It's called CHATA. The CHATA organization looks at all the schools on Negros Oriental, which is all the multiple cities here, and they support me as well. So I got to get all those together and put them in a file. So and you're asking me plans for the channel. I haven't decided. I'm not. I kind of sat back a little bit about a month ago when I was on my diet, and I had a few guys that wanted to come on, and this is later, and I kind of blew them off because I don't want to do the same thing that Mark Thornburg was doing. Every man has a story. I haven't decided which direction the channel is going to go in, and it may just be me. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that, so I can't have an answer on the channel. But I can tell you that I'm going to relieve some of my responsibilities because too many people keep asking me, where can I get this? Where can I do that? How do I solve this problem? How do I solve that problem? And it takes up most of my day. Oh, yeah? Dr. Josh Axe, is it Josh? Lives in your hometown. Where is your hometown, Rick? Let me see. Let me go back on my notes here. Let's see. Oh, a lot of notes. Where's your hometown? Because I don't even know where your hometown is. Let me know, Rick. He's a very good, knowledgeable person, and I watch his videos, and also Bachmeier when I can get past his oversized head. I'll watch Trevor Bachmeier. I don't know what to say. What time is it? It's already 9:30. I was fighting a cold. I took some cold medicine this morning. The weather here, I keep walking into air-conditioned rooms and then going outside where it's hot. And it started to affect my nose was running and my throat was sore. So I may not go a full 2 hours or 3 hours here today. I'm going to take a break. And I have some people that want to come over to get some peptides and talk to me about other things. I got to say, I really loved that you started a channel. I don't really care which way would you go, but I wish you'd make 7 hours of content a week. What a day average. Yeah, I don't have time for that. Man, I am so busy. I appreciate it, Alex, but you have no idea. I wake up 5, 6 a.m., and I spend an hour answering emails and sending out ebooks. Then starts coming around, I'll have my coffee, and around 8, everybody starts hitting me up as to I need to come and make a payment on a bike, or I need to rent a bike, or I need to return a bike, okay? Or I had a problem with the bike. And there could be a lot of problems. It's a good business, but there's a lot of hands-on. Somebody left their lights on, killed their battery. I got to run over there with jumpers. Somebody is having trouble starting their bike, or there's something other problem, or they got into an accident, okay? So, in fact, there's somebody at my door right now, and I hear the doorbell. So who knows? Hopefully it's not for me. I'm getting a lot of packages every day, mostly small things for the school. And then the evening it starts again. So my only time I have, and I really would like to exercise and walk, and the only time I have is at 9 a.m. I can go to the mall. There's plenty of parking spots. I can park my bike and walk in the mall for a few hours and have some time to myself. And that hasn't happened in the last few days. So we talked earlier about Paul Logan. Paul is taking a break. So the problem with subletting the email and ebook is that they're not going to do it like I do it. First of all, I do a cover letter. I address their name, okay? I make it more personal. I tried doing it automatically. I used someone to set up a website and do it. They botched it up terribly. And people were very unhappy because they weren't getting the ebook or they weren't getting the whole ebook. And this guy I paid to create a website, local person who claims he could help you and everything else didn't. Without saying a name, I don't like to bring anybody down, but without saying a name, after paying him hundreds of dollars, I finally said, screw it, you're fired. He was trying to make it into something I didn't want it to be. He was trying to make it where I provided services and charged a fee per hour. People could call me and I could charge a fee. And I don't charge by the hour for my information. It's free, and I wanted it kept free. And the only thing I asked for is for people to help for the schools. I don't need the money for myself. I have enough money for myself. But in order to help, I prefer to help the children. It's kind of, I'm paying it forward. I want to help the children, and I only pick children. I don't pick adults. I don't pick particular families. I don't buy bags of rice. I don't do paper and pencils. My thing is to help whole schools. Now, I still do the helmets, but if they're not going to wear them, and that's mostly what I saw, I bought helmets for children, small-sized helmets out of China by the thousands, and provided them at no charge. You cannot make any money here, okay? You could donate with permissions, and you got a CYA, big time. But in all the thousands of helmets, I would say only 100 kids are wearing helmets when they ride bikes. And you have to understand the Philippines is very different than the U.S. Children could go on bikes. Children could ride motorbikes here. There's not a whole lot of enforcement. So you'll see kids riding dirt bikes. They learn at an early age, 8 years old, 10 years old, and they'll ride dirt bikes to go to the market for their mother or father. And then children could be passengers on motorbikes, and they don't require them to wear helmets. They don't require them to wear shoes. Only the driver has requirements in Duma. It is a little bit tougher in Cebu. It's a lot more enforced in Manila, but in Dumaguete, it's not very enforced. We're still very backwards here. That's some of the good and some of the bad, because children get hurt. And if you go to the hospital for any length of time, to ACE or Silliman hospitals, you'll see an emergency, kids are coming in with badly hurt, bloody, broken bones, badly hurt, especially head trauma. And that's what started the whole thing. I went to the hospital and saw that. And I went, why aren't these kids wearing helmets? And I figured, okay, I'll buy helmets and give it to them for free. And I tried. I did whole schools, try to educate them on the safety, put their name on it, let them decorate it. So they would, and somebody says, oh, well, they're selling helmets. Well, that's fine, because they're only going to fit children. They're children's size. If the kids that I gave free to and the parents sell their helmet to somebody, that's okay too, because now I know another child is going to be wearing it, because if they paid money for it, the parents, if they paid money for the helmet, I don't care if it was 50 pesos and it's a 500 peso helmet, then I know that kid will be wearing it because their parents are concerned enough of their children to take care of it. So anyway, so I can't sublet the email or the ebook. What I could do is automate it myself, but there'll be no personal touch to it. And they won't have my email address. They won't be able to ask me questions, and I don't like that right now. Right now, I like helping people. Yeah, that's too also, Alex. People can't do the YouTube like I do. So I did a really good job on the helmets, yes, but I can't change the laws here, and I'm not here to change their laws. I don't want to change their way of life here. And you got to take the good with the bad. The good part is there's freedom here. There's not as much you can't imagine how much freedom is here, that you can you do have to wear a helmet. The driver does. You do have to wear closed-toe shoes. You're supposed to get registration. Most Filipinos don't get registered and don't even have a license. But accidents do happen. It's not a case of when. It's just a case of where. It's going to happen. You've been listening to that chiropractor Bachmeyer. I disagree. I'm an anesthesiologist, and I have studied peptides. Well, that's fine. You're welcome to have a different opinion, Rick. But the bottom line is, you're wrong. In my opinion, you're wrong, and that's the way it's going to be. And you're perfectly in the right to have your own opinion. Peptides do not cause cancer. The best way to go to sleep. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I take sleeping pills. I'll be honest with you. I just take sleeping pills. They actually have a peptide to help you sleep. I didn't find it as being very helpful. They said you had to be on it for 3 months. It's too expensive for that. I take sleeping pills to sleep. My mind is constantly working, so I don't sleep very good. So I take 2 sleeping pills, and I'm knocked out. Alcohol helps too, but I'm not an alcoholic. So, yeah, I get Sleepies, I think it's called. It's out of Kirkland. You could buy Kirkland stuff on Lazada. So, if Michael Jackson would have hired me, he would still be alive. It's not propofol. Not sure what that is. Not sure what happened with Michael. Not sure what Michael did. There's some talk about Michael did things they shouldn't have been doing. So other than overdosing with medications, don't know. That's what happens to most stars is they have so much pressure. They're on medications to keep them going. And that will kill you, certain medications. But peptide's not a medication. I saw the gold. It's going to Rico. I saw the gold. It well below ground and in cages. This was at the Fed Reserve in Lower Manhattan. Everyone was in awe. I think it's Rector Street, a few blocks from Wall Street and the Trade Center. I do believe that is true. It is on Rector Street. The problem is you didn't test it. And there's always going to be a question is what you saw, was it gold? I'm sure they must have some gold in this country. I'm more concerned about Fort Knox than I am Manhattan. But I honestly, there's so many lies in the government by politicians. And though I love Trump and I'm a Trumper, I don't agree with everything he does. I don't think he was 100% honest in his life. I'm sure he's done some bad things. He's human. He will do bad things. I just felt he was the best person for the job, and I approve what he's doing in changing the world, or at least the country of USA. He's a businessman, and he knows how to save businesses. And it takes someone who's lost businesses and gone through bankruptcies to know what works and what doesn't work. You can't run till you fall, and if you fall a few times, you've learned from that. Pick yourself back up and you start running again. So the fact that he's had bankruptcies doesn't bother me at all. I think that's a learning curve, and I actually prefer to know that he's had several bankruptcies because he's learned from those. He's had hundreds and hundreds of businesses. He's had 5 bankruptcies, maybe less. Hundreds and hundreds of businesses that have made millions and millions, if not billions of dollars. If I want a person in office, I don't want a politician. Now, is he becoming a politician? Unfortunately, I do know that when I was a jeweler, I didn't like pawn shop owners because they got very cold with the people they dealt with on the street because the people they deal with is where they started to become like the people they dealt with. If you're a pawn shop owner, you start becoming the people you deal with, liars, thieves, and just the personality changes. I know one guy who's a jeweler who worked for me for a long time. He was my repairman, and he had the opportunity to take over a pawn shop from a guy that died, and he did, and he became not such a nice guy after a couple of years. So, will that happen to Trump? Most likely, it rubs off on you. Okay, so he will become a politician eventually, and do things that are specific to politics versus business. But in the long run, I think he's done more good than bad, and I appreciate him. So I'm a Trumper. Well, melatonin doesn't work for me, Rick. I've tried that; it doesn't work. Valerian root doesn't work. I've tried that. Don't know what Ramotrion is, but I need to get my sleep, and the best way I found was to take sleeping pills. And if you ask me what it is, I don't even remember what it is, but it's Sleepies. And actually, I do have sleep apnea, but as I'm losing weight, I'm noticing I don't need to wear a mask anymore. I'm getting to the point where if I drop another 10 pounds, I probably will not be using a CPAP, which has happened once before. I lost weight once before. And when I got down to about, I'm at 250 right now, I think. Maybe a little under 250. See, but in any case, I'm at 250 right now. And when I get down to about 225, I don't need a CPAP anymore. Gold in BOE is moved between allocation, so not UK owning. Depends on whose debt is 100% of the GDP for a UK. I don't understand what does the BOE mean. Gold in BOE. Moving between allocation. Not 100% sure what you're trying to say there. I have a CPAP and had morning hypoxia when snotty. I don't know. Well, I haven't had a problem with it. I actually enjoy the CPAP. I actually add hydrogen peroxide water to the tray for moisture. You know, it warms up the tray and you breathe so you don't have a dry. I just use it for the nose, not the mouth. It's not a full face. It's a nose covered mask. Bank of England. Oh, thank you. Gold and Bank of England is moved between allocation, so not UK owning. Depends on whose debt is 100% of GDP. All right. So I use in my CPAP food grade hydrogen peroxide, so that I'm getting that as well at the same time. Okay. Did you ever visit 47th in Manhattan? It's a scene. They say there were more guns on that street than anywhere. The FedEx trucks making deliveries have retired cops sitting in the back all day. Well, I was in Manhattan. I don't know if I actually visited 47th Street, to be honest with you. Empire State Building, went to a couple different places, went to some auctions that they were having there. It was very interesting. Went to some old Chinese sellers that were selling very rare Chinese art. But I don't remember going to the Diamond District, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I ever did. No. I went there with a New York friend and spent 2 weeks. And we visited Manhattan. Driving there was crazy. Manhattan's very crowded, very trashy, a lot of trash, a lot of rats, some very big fancy stores. Have you ever met a psychic by Seaweed? Got any supernatural stories? I've never met a psychic here. In my early years, I've met some psychics that would be in the U.S. That I'd gone to. The only thing supernatural here are stories, and Sikihor supposedly has witches and witch doctors. So, and they very much believe in it. And Sikihor is an island just outside of Dumaguete. You can get there in an hour on a fast track boat. And supposedly, it's a place where you can go to speak to people for medical assistance or for future sightings and seeings. I'm going to sneeze. But I don't know if I totally believe. I do believe there's psychics and there are people. There obviously been people in the past that have talked about things in the future that have come true. So some people, I believe in reincarnation too. So, yes. Okay. So why else would they take us off the gold market, gold standard? Well, yeah, that's what happened with Nixon in '71, I believe it was. Took us off the gold standard so they don't have to back their dollars with gold. Used to say gold and silver certificates on the U.S. dollar. They don't anymore. It was supported by the value of the precious metals, and there would be no other reason to take it off, unless they were planning on pilfering Fort Knox, which I'm sure they did. What was the other subjects I was going to talk about? I'm sorry. Got off track. We got on a lot of things here. Talked about peptides. We talked about FDA suppressed medical for years. U.S. debt. I think we really covered everything, guys. Anybody have any questions? Because I think we covered just about everything I had notes on. We talked about planning for the future. So freeze-dried foods is a good thing to have and keep it in a cool place. They come in drums. You can buy them Mormons have it as well. I can't remember the name of the Mormon church that sells them, but they have them in all cities in the U.S. And there's also, you can get them from Amazon and some other. Just go online, just find a reputable company. Peptides are all the rage. Per Marlin, peptides are all the rage at the moment, but it would be nice to hear you go more in depth about the 1 Minute Cure book and what you found most beneficial, since it helps with so many things. Well, did you get the 1 Minute Cure book? I think it's still available on Amazon. You could ask me for a copy, and I believe I have it downloaded on my phone, and I could probably send you a copy. The 1 Minute Cure is it's obviously more than a minute. It's a good title, good sell pitch, but it's more than a minute. Is using hydrogen peroxide, food grade hydrogen peroxide, and dosing your water with it and drinking water. That's alkali water. Alkali water is the best, and hydrogen peroxide adds oxygen to the water. So you put several drips in your glass, or in your here liter or their gallon, and you drink hydrogen peroxide. I still do. This is how I got cured from cancer. I had terminal cancer, pancreatic cancer, 15 years ago. And by going alkali, two things killed the cancer cells. One was alkalining your blood. And the way to do that is to eat food that's not acidic. Tomatoes are not allowed. I don't eat tomatoes. There are certain foods that are acidic. However, lemons are not bad for you. And they change once you eat them. So lemons are actually beneficial. So you'll have to go online and find a chart of certain vegetables, fruits that are acidic. Coca-Cola's retract. I can't say that on here. I get in trouble. So I can only say that the soda pop of choice, which starts with the letter C, is about the worst thing you could ever drink, especially if it's sugared. The absolute worst. In fact, any soda is bad for you because it has sugar-free sodas have chemicals in them. They're not good for you. The only thing typically that's going to be good is a natural sweetener, stevia. Okay, so let's see. If you're we can get 35% food-grade hydrogen peroxide here. You can get it on Shopee. It's cheap. You used to be able to get it on Amazon. Amazon did away with the 35%. Then they went to 16%. Then they went to 6%. You can only get food-grade hydrogen peroxide 6% last I checked on Amazon, and the price has probably risen 5 times. 6% is okay, but you're going to need a lot more drops than 35%, okay? Because it's 6 times less powerful. Here I get 35% hydrogen peroxide. It's 500 pesos, $10 for a liter of it. So it'll last forever. But you take a few drops and you put it in you actually need to dilute it. You have to dilute it because 35% will burn your skin. You don't take it straight, but you can dilute it to, say, half, 16%, and put a few drops, or even down to a third, and get it down to 11%, roughly 10%, and put a few drops in your water and shake it up, and you drink that. And oxygen in your blood and alkali kills cancer cells. They don't tell you that. There's ways to cure cancer. There's more ways than that to cure cancer, but that's how I cured my cancer. And I learned in Mexico about that. Sake stock. Well, you can go now to his channel, the one who tries to never own stock. Yeah. He has a channel, his own channel now. Kevin Tucker. Kevin Tucker has his own channel now. I'm not sure the name of it. I'd have to go look it up. Maybe he's watching. He could put it up there. But let's see if I have Kevin Tucker's information here. But he has his own channel now, and he teaches it. And if you go to his home or go online, he'll help you with that. He has a cute little name for it, but I can't remember the name. Sorry, guys. But if you send me an email, I'll find out what it is, and I'll send you a link to his to Kevin's. Let me see if I have it here. Do I have Kevin Tucker? Helmets, computer classrooms, across the pond, pets. I don't think I have it, guys. I'm sorry. I don't have it right in front of me. But Kevin Tucker does have a channel. But just put in Kevin Tucker and see what you got. But I just don't remember it. I'm sorry. But anyway, he does have his own channel. So he won't be coming back on here because he could do his own channel now. Let's see. Ooh, a lot of people. Okay. Our own stock. Yes, sorry. Listen to the book. Joe Tippin's protocol on X Twitter. Beat cancer after modern medicine failed. Yeah, well, modern medicine isn't modern. It's FDA doesn't want to go modern. If they knew about peptides for years, they know how to cure cancer. They're not interested in curing cancer. But Joe Tippin's, huh? Okay, is that on YouTube? I think so. Pocahola. I don't know what Pocahola is. I worked for Pocahola and wore a T-shirt of that company night out on bars, which annoyed Pocahola. Don't know what the heck Pocahola is. My contract with Pocahola, they sent to me, and as April 1st changed to if I developed anything, staff worldwide had to dress in a chicken costume and start incenses in cluck. What the hell is all that? All right, I don't know what the hell we're talking about here. Whatever happened with Kevin's challenge, he never made it. He never got that. I don't think he jumped out of the plane. I remember that. Yeah, he did a challenge, but I don't think he jumped out of the plane. I never heard from him on that. I'll have to ask him. Let's see. We have field chaining using waste from batches probably saved them. 25 billion USD with no clucking uniform. I don't know what we're talking about. It's a sad corporate. Don't take the joke. Okay. Shoot. I purchased a 6% from Amazon per my favorite video from you. Are you diluting the solution as well? Or how would you mix with the distilled water for maintain? You don't need to mix it. You don't need to cut 6% down to anything lower than the 6%. You can use it straight. Just add a few drops. It's more consistency than quantity. Just add a few drops. Try to work up to about, I know per liter. Try to work up to 10 to 15 drops per liter, whatever that works out to. Have a one of those, bottled waters, just take with you. And then you can get alkali also from Amazon. So, Marlon, you still go to Ground Zero. Do you see the judge? I did see the judge actually at Ground Zero last week. No, his name is Rick. Rick was over there with his wife. He's in a wheelchair. He's a little pale. He's hanging in there. He's had a few problems. Bought some food grade hydrogen from a local health food store. 10 drops in a big glass of water to start the day. Thanks. Yeah, that's a lot. 10 drops. It depends on your percentage of hydrogen peroxide. But as long as it's food grade, you're okay to take it internally. But I'm sure the taste is funny. I think it was copied on. Brooklyn 99 with Turkey decades later. Marlon Alvarez. Oh shoot! What happened to it? Marlon, what happened to you? So many things. What happened to Marlon? Oh, there we are. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the information. You're welcome. And thank you for. Let's see. We'll give you. There we go. We thank you very much for that. All right. Pocahola are based in Atlanta, Georgia. But what is Pocahola? I don't quite get what you're talking about there. Wild Philippines. Anyway, so yes, I did cure my cancer in Mexico. I was told to go to a certain clinic that was free. I donated money to them after the fact because I actually was selling everything off and making plans for my funeral back in 2010 and into 2011. In the U.S., they don't cure you, they treat you. It's as simple as that. because treating you means you get to come back for a second round, and there's more money to be made in treating someone than it is curing. So I don't trust USA, American Medical Association. I don't trust the WHO. I don't trust the FDA, and I certainly don't trust Big Pharma. Oh, a well-known beverage you couldn't discuss. Yeah, big letter C. Okay, Coca-Cola. Okay, now I get it. Duh. Okay, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Coca-Cola. I got it. Is in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't discuss that. There's corporations that are so big that if you make certain comments about them, you can get your YouTube channel dropped. Wouldn't be the. There's other people that have gotten dropped based on what they say, but and what their opinions are. I know they won't monetize this. The minute they hear anything about peptides or anything else with hydrogen peroxide or anything like that, they pick up on certain words like cancer. So the minute they hear those, automatically you get unmonetized. I don't really care. I don't need their money. But you need to know the truth. The truth is the U.S. has suppressed cures. They suppress a lot of things for many years, and they lie to us. And it can't be trusted. It's just a shame. You just can't trust the U.S. You can't trust the FBI, the CIA, all these different organizations, FDA, WHO, which is the World Health Organization, American Medical Association, AMA, all of them. You can't trust them anymore. They're all about the money, and they lie. And that's a fact. I mean, if you don't believe that, then go vote for Kamala. You know, what can I tell you? You're an idiot. So that's my opinion. I'm not a liberal. Unfortunately, one of my sons is. He won't talk to me, which I don't think anybody should use politics to break up family. It's a horrible thing to break up family due to politics and your beliefs. But, you know, what can I say? That's his choice. I still love him. Maybe one day he'll realize he only has one dad, or maybe I'll be gone and he'll be sorry. I don't know. But I have one son that won't talk to me because he was all for Harris. He was all for other presidents that ran, which were only the fact that they were female. They weren't qualified, and they had fits and broke down when they lost. I mean, a lot of things were. I mean, Trump's been shot at. He's been lied to. He's been ridiculed. Stories made about him that's false. All kinds of false accusations. That judges were paid off. Everybody was paid off to go against Trump. You got to recognize that. So, in God we trust. Well, we missed that too. They don't have that in the schools anymore, do they? They don't even say that too much on on the dollar. I don't even know if the dollar still has that. They took it out of the schools when we pledged allegiance to the flag. You know, if they're not going to believe in God, they're Satan's. So that's why YouTube has other sources that Rumble, and there's other sources that use that other YouTubers have had gone to because they speak the truth. But the truth doesn't want big money doesn't want the truth said. I remember when Republicans and Democrats could get along, even knowing those who married. Yeah, I know. Seriously, it's a shame. Why would you let politics split up families and friends? I was at a PM plant in Boxmeyer, repurposing a new blank animal health plant being repurposed for humans. They lied site would have live fermentables. Well, I still take fenbenzidol. Fenbenzazole is something I use to take for deworming. It also supposed to also work on curing the big C. I don't know about that, but I use it for deworming. Yeah. I mean, you got countries like India and they're reusing oil out of the sewers. I mean, thank God we're not like that. I mean, that's pretty bad. You have China, people are starving and they don't care about the people. They don't own the land. They take away their property. Thank God we're not. I mean, America, I'm not trying to bash America. America is still better than some countries, but it's changed. It has changed over the years, and it's a shame. Better products are being made in other countries. German mechanics, surpass. I'd rather have a car made in Germany than a car made in the U.S. or China. That's for sure. Another thing that they've pushed on us is electric cars. That's a joke. Electric cars is a waste of good money, telling you that you're helping the environment and saving the planet when they're doing all this mining and processing of the metals for these batteries, which aren't even safe to use. It's just crazy. And then you have a lot of waste. You can't recycle these batteries. So lithium is a horrible product. I understand they're coming out with a new battery, which is wonderful. Several car companies are being forced to create electric to meet demands by the government, but it's at the cost of the U.S. citizen. It's a joke. Japanese cars. Japan makes great motorbikes. I'm sure they make great cars. Japanese bikes here are excellent mechanically. Chinese bikes are not. In fact, anything made in China doesn't seem to be last. There's a lot of Chinese influence here because everything is cheap, and Philippines don't have a lot of money to spend for quality products. And when you can sell something for half the price made in China versus a quality product, it's pretty tough to explain to someone that you get what you pay for. They don't see the value. They live for the day here in the Philippines. They don't live for tomorrow. They live for the day. And that's just the way it is. You're not going to change this society very much here. So if you could buy a motorbike for half the price, they buy Rusi's, a Chinese-made bike. And what they do is they import the parts and put them together in Manila. And Rusi's a very big outfit here that makes Chinese-made bikes. And they're half the price of Hondas. Hondas are mostly Japanese. They do the same thing. They ship it here and put them together. But Honda's not made, they're made mostly better parts are from Japan, better quality products. Yeah, well, of course, every time we hear about an engine that runs on water or on H2O, separating the hydrogen from the oxygen, the person disappears, and so does the specs on the motor. I wonder why. And people even know it. It's gotten to the point where if a guy goes online and shows his motor that he's running it on water and he's going 100 miles an hour, 100 miles on a gallon of water, he doesn't last very long. He disappears. So let's see. How long does it take you to get an exit clearance? Oh, you can get an exit clearance in a couple days here. If you go to, you can go right to the airport here and get one on your way out of the country. You can get one within an hour or so. You can go the day before. If you go to JRC, they'll get one for you the next day. You want to pay the price. It's cheaper to get it at the airport, but I don't like waiting to the last minute to get it. And in order to get to the airport, you actually have to have the ticket in your hand. And some people have been known to go from Dumaguete to Cebu or Manila. And in Cebu or Manila, they get their exit clearance. But I don't like waiting to the last minute. If there's a problem where I'm going to miss my flight, I get nervous about that. It's mostly because I'm older. So I like things done ahead of time. So I'll probably just use JRC and pay the $3,500. But you can get it for 1,500 pesos if you go right to the airport here. But it's $3,500 if you go to GRC. I'll just pay the $3,500. It isn't that much money in U.S. dollars. It's pesos. So. And we're almost hitting 60 right now again. We're over 59 now. So we're almost hitting 60 pesos to the dollar, which makes things very cheap. You can buy cars here a lot cheaper now. Now I will say the Chinese cars that I saw at the mall, incredible. Now, will they last? Probably not. but incredible. The technology they had in the Chinese cars was crazy. They also have Japanese cars. They also have UK cars. But the Chinese cars were a lot cheaper and did a lot more things. Automatic hatchbacks, cameras on all sides, backup with sound as you're backing up, so in case you have somebody behind you or a wall, where they beep and beep closer as you get closer to the wall, or literally stop the car if you're backing up on something. They literally brake for you. They self-park. The Chinese cars self-park. They had electric seats front and back. They had cool and warm air in the seats, something like Mercedes-Benz had years ago. Very comfortable. You don't actually shift. You move a lever, but it's literally shifting just on a 1-inch, half-inch move. Okay, but you're not actually moving the lever. You're just moving a switch, basically. But it looks like a automatic transmission going into different gears. Really nice Chinese car. Will it last? Probably not, but it was a really beautiful car. It had sunroofs. They had the whole thing open where it wasn't just the glass. It was the whole thing slid front to back. I don't know. Really liked the cars that was there. I can't remember the name of it. I did get a piece of paper on it. But will I buy a car? Probably not. There's not much rusting here, even though it is humid. I don't see a lot of rust. You know what we get a lot of is moss and slime, and flying bugs, mosquitoes, but not rust. Let's see. Moving back. Putin has I call him Putin, has a nuclear warhead drone on a nuclear engine. It just doesn't have any shielding and can come down due to mist or rain. And can come down. Don't know what that is. Spain is dry, so things don't rust fast. Other places, England, anything near the sea will rust because of salt water. I used to have a boat on the salt. Anything. I used to live in Malibu, and I've lived in Ventura, California. Everything rusts where there's salt water. It's very corrosive. But I don't see rust here. What I see is green slime, slippery green slime, and a lot of mosquitoes and flying bugs here. Coming from California, it's so dry, you don't see a whole lot of flying bugs. You do in Florida, but not in California. Black mold, it's MOLD. Yeah, black mold does occur here. If you have walls that are painted white, you'll start seeing black mold. You can buy a paint that will counteract it as an undercoater. But yes, black mold, if you have constant water dripping or somewhere, and black mold will grow no matter where you are, in any country, even in the state. I've had black mold in rental houses in the U.S. So, of course, they don't wear yellow suits to get rid of it here. They just get a bottle of chlorine or another acid and put it in a sprayer and just spray it to get rid of it. So they don't go freaking crazy here like they do in the U.S. The U.S. seems to over accentuate the requirements. Flying bugs in Canadian summer, yeah. I don't like the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes bug the hell out of me. They bite me. There's also a lot of gnats. You get a lot of ants here. You get a lot of cockroaches. So it's buggy here. It's very buggy in Dumaguete because of all the humidity. Geckos, lizards. You get frogs too, though, so that's cool. So anyway, guys, we've been on for 2 hours. I'm going to start to call it quits. I need to get things done. I've got a couple people that are sending me messages. They want to come over. I appreciate you all. If you would like, hit the like button. I would appreciate that. Let's see. And let's see what we got here. Stream health, viewer activity. Let's see if we have viewer activity. Is it going to show me anything? Of course not. Analytics, does it show me anything? No. I don't know. It doesn't show me. I don't know why it doesn't show me likes. I don't know where the heck the lights went to. But whatever. Stream settings. Oh, here. Maybe I can find it here. 46 likes with 46 viewers. That's not too bad, considering I only have under 6,000 subs. If you like the content, hit the like button Any last questions? You got a couple minutes. Is there a time of the year it's not buggy? No. It's humid here most of the year. It doesn't get dry in Dumaguete. Now, there are higher elevations that are cooler, but it's hot and humid here. This is worse than Florida. I've spent a lot of time in Florida. It's actually more humid and warmer here, more constant than Florida. So keep going. No, I can't keep going. My voice is gone. So yeah, it's Dumaguete is hot and humid. If you get into Valencia, it's a little higher up. It's a little wetter, but it's not as humid. But they may get more rain. We don't get rain. We just get humidity. So DSP appeals to me. What is DSP? Is that an area? No, there are not big centipedes here. Don't have those. I know they used to be in Nevada. Maybe they like a drier climate. I don't think they like a wet climate. But no, we don't get big centipedes here. We do get ugly-looking bugs. Don Salvador something. Is that in the Philippines? Is that a... don't recognize the name, Don Salvador. Sorry, Wild. It's actually WLD. I call it Wild. Next hill across from Calone. Canlone. Oh, I don't know it. I haven't really traveled the Philippines. I pretty much came to Dumaguete and stayed in Dumaguete. I would like to travel and see other areas, but I want to do it with Carolyn, so I don't want to do it by myself. So Negros Oriental, okay. Anyway, I think we covered a lot of topics. I'll be back my next Friday, which I guess is your Thursday night. So I apologize by saying Friday night. It was. I'll have to remember that for next time. My Friday night, you guys are a day behind, not a day forward. So my Friday morning is your Thursday night. So it's on the other end of the island I'm on. Okay, thanks, Wild. And you're in the Philippines, so you know more than me. Are you Filipino? You must be Filipino. The Filipinos know more about Philippines than I do. Carolyn's an expert on Carolyn's an expert on U.S. Carolyn knows the U.S. better than I know the U.S. She knows every capital, every state, every capital city, every river, the longest river, the shortest river. So it's amazing. All right, we're going to end it soon, guys. 100 meters and only... Yeah, all right, that's cool. At least we didn't have... I have really good internet now. I finally figured out PLDT. Oh, my God. So now I'm running a gigabyte speed, 1,000 megabytes. Solved all of those problems, but it only took 6 months to figure it out. PLDT, I paid for a higher rate, higher speed service and wasn't getting it. And it took multiple phone calls and complaints to get somebody to come out and look at it. And what they found was the wire was old. The fiber cable was old. They had to replace it. The modem I had would only handle up to 300 megabytes. They had to change the modem. I then ran a landline, Cat 6, to my YouTube or to my studio. And then I had to change from the RG45 connector to a USB-C and add a USB-C that would handle 2.5 million bits of information. And now when I run my speed test, I'm getting in the anywhere from 800,000 up and down to 1.2 million. So we seemed to finally have solved that problem. I was about ready to throw in the towel and get a Starlink system, and that wasn't necessary anymore. So now I have better speeds than Starlink. Took forever, but I got it. Anyway, guys, take care. Appreciate you watching. I'll be back next week with some more information and updates. We'll see what as I lose, we'll see how much I can lose. Everybody, take care. Bye-bye now. Thanks for watching the Goldfinger Minute.